For probably 4 videos now, I've been promising that we're going to work on the interior on the flooded Corvair, and something keeps coming up that derails us, but not today. I promise you by the end of this video, we're going to have paint on the interior and a new headliner. Hey everybody, welcome back to Auto Anatomy. My name is Sean. Thank you so much for joining us. As I mentioned, we've been promising for, it feels like an eternity, that we're going to start working on the interior on this car. And one thing after another keeps coming up that derails us. As we left off on the last video, we had done the passenger side wheel arch, replaced the entire, pretty much, or a good bit of the rear window surround around the rear window. And all of that had to get done to get us to this point. Now we're finally ready to actually start doing some interior work. Still got a few things that need to remove before we can start doing some prep for body work, like, pulling the trim around the windshield, pulling the windshield out, taking out the cluster, that kind of stuff. So let's dive into that stuff first, then I'll show you the paint that we picked up and exactly what our plan is for the end of this video. If you like seeing classics get brought back to life, take just a minute and hit that subscribe button and click on the bell to be notified when new videos come out. It's an absolutely free way to help support our channel, and I truly appreciate it. All right, let's dive into getting this interior done. I think maybe the first thing to do is pull the windshield out, and then we can come around to pulling all the stuff out of the dashboard. And you can't see any of this yet, so that's a surprise. So let's get the windshield out, then we can get to painting the dashboard, painting, all of the panels and things like that are around the back of the car. Then we can finally put the headliner in it. All the interior is out, all the dashboard stuff is out, the radio, the glove box, all of that stuff. And I wanted to show you the window frame here. So there's a little pitting, but nothing that's lacy, so there's no holes here. I do have one little area right there that's about, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of an inch wide. And then one area over on the passenger side that is, if you can even see it, that big right there. So it's about the size of a screw. So I think those two things, that's all that's in here. I'm calling that a victory. I was expecting way worse on the window frame. So otherwise looks pretty good. Sadly, I've gotten pretty good at repairing window frames, so I'm just going to knock that out real quick. Then I think it's honestly time that we start stripping the dashboard and then, gosh, I don't know, prime it? Because then what's left? We prime it, we paint it, we put a headliner in it, and then I can start putting things back together. I'm also realizing how much I want to change the steering wheel. So what do you think? I would love like a Nardi wheel or something like a really nice wood wheel in here. If you guys have one, let me know in the comments below because I would definitely pick it up from you. Well, I found a few more holes in the roof, not many, but now instead of just that one that was right here, there's one here, 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 and here. And that's just so far. All right, it's got to get done. We're not doing all this work just to skimp on this, at the last minute. So let me get to cutting out some metal, and actually let me finish cleaning this up so I can get a better idea of how much I need to replace, and then keep working. We're gonna get this done though, sometime, eventually. Got the curve pretty much lined up, and I just need to trim it, fit it, weld it in place. And then I think we are just about done with rust repair around the windshield. So I've got all the interior sanded, cleaned out, and taped up, and I think we're pretty close to being ready to put some primer on this thing. All right, 4-1. Got everything sanded down real well. Everything turned out really nice. And I think really the only thing that's left is to take some grease and wax remover and wipe everything down. The first thing that I want to do is actually paint the silver that's going to go in here. So I'll just like roughly paint this, and then once that dries, then I can mask this part off, and then we can paint the entire thing blue. This is the paint that I used for the dashboard, for the silver part. It's something I just picked up at O'Reilly's. It's a aluminum finish. It's part number CA16-55, and it's an aluminum finish, and it dries pretty flat. So I'm just going to paint, roughly this area right here, and then once it dries, I'll put a couple of coats on. Once it dries, then I'll tape it off. Then we can start putting on the blue for the dashboard. Just a thin light coat at first, then we'll come back and do a heavier coat once this first coat is just lightly flashed off. Everything is all taped off now, masked up. I think we're ready to mix up some paint and hopefully squirt this thing before the wind picks up too much. This is what I've picked up for painting, and I went ahead and bought a gallon just in case we ever want to go ahead and paint the car. And it is from TCP Global. It is the Mist Blue Base Coat Clear Coat. So we're going to mix this up in a 2-to-1 ratio, and then I guess go ahead and get ready to squirt this thing. All right, got the couple of coats of base coat on there, and I'm really happy with the way that this is laying down. So far it looks beautiful. Just gonna let that flash off for a little bit. In the meantime, I'm gonna go and clear the gun out and get some clear coat mixed up, because I think it's not too far away from time that we go ahead and clear this thing. I'm really excited. One of the mistakes I made last time was using a high gloss clear on the dashboard, and when driving, it just had this horrible glare. So I picked up some low gloss clear coat, which, believe it or not, is harder to find than you might think. So I've heard good comments about this brand. It's an American company. So we'll get this mixed up and squirt a few coats of clear on. And this is what, 3 to 4 medium wet to wet coats. So let's get this mixed up, get some clear coat on it, and then move it inside to dry. First coat of clear on, and it's laying down really well. I'm pretty happy. So I think this says to wait 15 minutes, and then we will put on our second coat of clear, and then one more third coat, and then we will call this guy done. The paint's all dry. I'm gonna go ahead and throw all the dashboard stuff back in, the cluster, the glove box, all that kind of stuff. And then hopefully we can roll it outside and actually put a headliner in it. If you remember, we started this whole thing just to put a headliner in the car. I've had the new headliner, which I got from Clark's, and it's just the original pattern in the white. I've had it sitting on the hood here for a couple of hours, just trying to relax a little bit, get some of the wrinkles out. But what I want to do first is mark where the center line is on the headliner. Now, I've never done one of these before. I did put a headliner in the 52 over there. This one's a little bit different, but should be pretty similar. So let's see, what's our width here? 48.5, so 24.25, and we'll just go down the line and mark a little dot where the center line is. And it doesn't have to be precise. I mean, I would imagine that this has got enough room for some overlap that they didn't cut it exactly the size that it needs to be. That was 49.5. Next up, I'm going to take my bows here, and I've got them marked 1, 2, 3, and 4, and which side is left, so I know where they go. And I'm going to put just a little piece of tape kind of right where the center line of the bow is. Since I'm not going to be able to see a mark on here, at least I can feel it through the listing here. So let's just go. And again, I don't think this has to be super precise. I just want to make sure that it's roughly in the middle there. And looking at it, lining up the mark here, I've got probably 2 or 3 inches on each side of the bow. So we've got plenty of material to work with. Let's keep doing this all the way down. And we can slide the bows in. So next up, I'm going to slide the bows in, and let me make sure I take the little tags I made off here. And these aren't going to slide all the way in, but I do want them to get down to the middle. There's my mark right there. So what I can do, okay, my mark's right there in the middle. Here's the end of one bow. I want to come back about an inch or so from there on both sides, and then that way I'll have plenty of room to stretch it. So I'll just make a little mark there, and then we'll cut that and trim it off. But just the listing, we're not trimming anything else. We'll just repeat this 3 more times. Now, this one, the third bow, the one that's right behind the dome light, if you notice it's different because this one's going to hang on some hooks that are in the rail of the roof. With all the bows in, and of course there goes a loud truck going by, or an RX-7. Okay, with all the bows in, now I'm going to cut just the listing back to about our mark, so that way that the bows stick out on each end. I'm just being very, very careful, taking my time not to cut through anything that I don't want. All right, let's just repeat this for the other bows, and we can go ahead and hang this in and just get a rough idea of what it's going to look like. I've got everything masked up, ready to go. Got some drop cloths on, protecting all of the new paint. So hopefully we should be ready to drop in this new headliner. Now, what I'm going to do is lay the headliner out again, and then I've picked up some of this Weld heat resistant spray contact adhesive. This stuff is supposed to be fantastic for headliners because as the roof gets hot, especially here in the South, it doesn't lose its stickiness. So we'll lay the headliner out and probably spray, I don't know, 3-ish, 4 inches maybe from the edges all the way around. And then on the Corvair, it's gonna be a little harder to see. So this is the lip where the glass rides, and there's another little lip right there that actually has clips that hold it in place. And I replaced them with screws because all of my clips were gone. But this is where the headliner is going to glue to. So it'll glue to this edge and to this edge. And then on the sides here, it's going to glue to the just inside of the rubber there. So everything's masked off, ready to go. I think let's put some glue in this gun and see what happens. I don't know. I'm a little nervous. I've not done this before, but you know, what's the worst that can happen? Got a coat all around the edges of the headliner and all the way around the trim bits and on the inside. So I think it's time we hang the headliner. All right. Now we are going to start with the little hanger that goes right onto the clips here rather than the ones that go into the holes in the side. And what I want to do is just get this kind of in the middle, and thankfully there's a notch right here so I know exactly where the middle is, and it's going to hang over these little teeth. Initially I'm just going to do the middle and then start pulling this out, and then once this is kind of where I want it, then I'll move on to the back one and then move forward. So with the headliner hanging by the bows, I'm going to start in the back and pull just the middle, and then we'll get the steamer out and start working towards the edges here. So I'm just going to get this nice and hot and stretchy so that when it's hot it has no wrinkles, and as it cools off it's going to contract just a little bit more, taking all the wrinkles out of it. We're just going to steam all along the sides, pulling wrinkles out, getting it nice and tight, then we'll finish up at the front. All right, with this all tucked in, I'm gonna take some little spring clamps and just clamp it all the way down the edge here just to hold it in place. Shouldn't really need it, but you know, I'm not gonna take any chances here. Final trim here. With the headliner all trimmed in, the last thing to do is install all the accessories, you know, the visors, the mirror, the coat hooks, all that stuff. I did go ahead and scrub this one, and you can see it's way cleaner, but these are still pretty bad shape. So I need to replace them at some point, but we'll put these back on in the meantime. So let me show you where these are gonna go. So now the easiest way to do this is if you know roughly where they were, like right there, that's the hole where the little spring bracket goes through. So what I'll do is I'll punch that hole first, and then that'll help me to locate the other 3 holes, and then just push the screws through one at a time. I'll probably just take a little torch and heat up the end of like a pick or an awl or something, so I can just push it straight through the vinyl so it makes a nice clean burn through there so it doesn't tear. All right, where's that hole again? All right, right there. Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see, but if I push in, you can see kind of the outline of the hole. And I have to say, this is a little nerve-wracking taking a razor blade to my brand new headliner, but it's got to be done. Yep, perfect. All right, with my hole cut out, now I can just press this up into place, and now I know roughly where my my holes are going to be. So then I will take the dull end of a punch here, and I can feel up in the metal here where the hole is. Maybe. Okay, there's one. Right. Oh, right there. Well, now that I've got one, I can just go ahead and put the screw in, and I should have an exact mark for where the other ones are. All right, but I don't. So let's, before making any big holes here, I want to figure out exactly what's going on. Okay, there's 2. Okay, now that I've got 2, I can definitely find the 3rd. And there's the 3rd. It actually punched through super easy, so I didn't need to heat it up with a flame to get it to punch cleanly through, so pretty thankful about that. So now that I've gotten one of the visors on, we'll do the same thing for every other accessory that goes in the headliner: the mirror, the other visor, the dome light, the coat hooks, and the new roof mounting points for the seat belts. So I promised in the last video to show you what we were going to use to put the trim studs back in. And I've picked up kind of all 3 options here. So option 1 is the little screws that screw in that have the little stud there. This is the second option, which is a rivet, which you just drill a hole in and rivet it. And then this is really what they used from the factory. So this is a trim rivet that goes on my stud puller gun, and you just put it in there and then weld that on. What I've found actually works the best is if you have the space, this guy. However, on the window channel, there's just not enough room for the head of it to go through. So I'm going to actually do the rivets. So we'll just drill a little hole there and then pop this guy in and rivet it in place. Got the 2 studs on the front windshield. We'll just do the couple there in the back. Just like that, it is all put back together, and I am super happy with the way it's turned out. I'm still waiting on some edge trim here to come in, so it should be here tomorrow. Then I can put all of that all the way around, and then the headliner will officially be done. Coming up on the next video, we're going to finish putting the interior back together. I've got some brand new carpet on the way, some new rear door panels. We're going to build a new speaker box. We're going to put the glass back in the car. I've obviously got a little bit of painting still to do and install this thing here. But it is almost ready to get back on the road. Don't forget, we are sponsoring the car rally at the Corvair Spring Fest in Helen, Georgia, April 25th through the 27th. We're going to be there with a flooded Corvair, so if you're in the Southeast, anywhere that's even remotely close, I highly recommend you come out to this event. It's one of the best Corvair events of the year, and we'll be there, and I'd love to get a chance to meet you. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. God bless, and we will see you soon.